Okay, welcome back. We have a couple more properties to go through. The first couple I'm going to go through are what I like to call the golden rules of algebra. We've heard that before. And that is where what you do to one side, you do to the other side. So if I have two things, if I have an equation where one side of the equation is equal to the other side of the equation, then I can take the logarithm of both sides. And usually, if you're going to do something like this, it's best to either use base 10 or natural log, so that it's something you could later put in the calculator when you've finished solving the problem. So, again, any equation, we could take the logarithm of both sides using either base 10 or base e, although you could use any base as long as it's the same on both sides. And then the same property applies backwards. If there's already a logarithm on each side that has the same base, now it's really important that it has the same base. If it already has the same base logarithm on each side, then the same golden rule of algebra says we can then remove those logarithms from both sides so that we just simply have the other stuff equal to each other with the logarithms gone away. Okay? Now the last property I'm going to teach you is called the change of base formula. You're going to want to learn this one. This allows you to take a logarithm with any base and change it to a base 10 or a base e so that you can solve it or graph it or whatever you need to do with it that you need to actually use a calculator for. So say we have a logarithm with some base that's not 10 or e, like if this was 3. Then we could change this to base 10 or base e, which I'm representing with a b here in the formula, and do the log of the actual number that was in the problem to begin with over the log with the base. And that will change it to a different base, so it can now be done with a calculator. Let's look at some examples of this. We are going to approximate the value, so these are examples, of log base 2 of 7. Now, of course, log base 2 is not one of the ones in the calculator, and normally we would think through 2 to what power is 7? Well, obviously 2 to the second power is 4, and 2 to the third power is 8. But we don't know what 2 to what power is 7. We just know it's going to be 2 point something, because it's going to be between 2 and 3, since 7 is between 4 and 8. So what we can do is use the change of base formula. Again, you can either use log base 10, which you wouldn't normally write the 10, I'm just writing it to remind us of that. And the number that was originally in the logarithm, that goes on the top of our fraction, and then again, log base 10, we're changing the base, and now the base number is the number we're putting into the logarithm. So then we can put that into the calculator. Be very careful when you put that in your calculator that you close the parenthesis around the 7 before you divide the base 2. Now, since I'm using my iPod to record this, and that's the calculator I normally use. I'm thrown a little bit off at the moment to get that done. But I think I can quickly use my phone here instead so that it's the same calculator we've normally been using. Hopefully this will show up. There we go. Okay, so let's clear this out. And I'm going to use a regular logarithm. I don't know what that just did. That's right, it works backwards, doesn't it? I forgot that. So I actually need to, if you're using this particular calculator, you have to work backwards. So it would be 7, and I take the log of that, and then I would divide and go 2 and take the log of that, and then hit enter. So the answer would be 2.80735. I'll just call it 2.81. And didn't we say the answer would be somewhere between 2 and 3? So our answer checks out. So that's great. Shall we try another one? It's pretty much all the same thing. And if we do another, it'll be the same process. We could use a natural log this time, though, just to see that it's going to still work either way. So we would do, if we're going to do natural log of 89 divided by the natural log of 5. if you decided you wanted to use a different calculator, say for example, quick graph, I think this is one we've talked about in class before, go to our calculator feature and find what we want in our little bar here. There it is. So we would type in log 89, close the parenthesis, very important, divided by the log of 5. Now I just realized that I started typing this with a regular log base 10 instead of a natural log. It shouldn't make any difference as long as they're both the same. So if we look in here, we can see the answer is 2.79 rounded. Correct? I just want to prove to you that it would be the same answer regardless. Okay, so I should clear this out first. So there it is. So natural log of 89, close the parenthesis, divided by the natural log of 5, close the parenthesis, and our answer is there, and again it's identical to what we got when we used log base 10. So that doesn't really make any difference. Okay, that is it for 6.5. I think you guys can handle it even though I'm not here. Good luck, and again I'm going to scan and post the notes that I've done for other classes that are pretty much what I've just done for you just now, so that you've got it all in print form rather than just on these video files. Thanks!